Good morning, everybody, on this great and fine Thursday morning. I believe it's Thursday morning, or afternoon, or whenever you are able to view this video. This video is a little bit different than most of my other videos. I just wanted to share with everybody that I do other projects besides those that are just scrappy. One of the things that I did was make reusable paper towels, and the little metal, it looks like a piece of metal rod sticking out, it's actually a paper towel holder, and I mounted it to the side of this dresser. And then what I did was took some flannel, and I believe this was fat quarters, I think so, because there's several different ones. And I just cut them in a square. There are no special things, didn't trim, didn't double them, and they come off with a paper towel. Then you use them and you throw them away. The roll actually came out of a regular paper towel holder. Of course, paper towels are a lot longer. And then you can cut them to whatever size that you preference and wash them, dry them. Doesn't hurt anything. And when I cut them, all I did was run a zigzag stitch. As you can see, nothing fancy. They're just for me. If you were going to give them away to somebody, you could probably make circles out of them. I just wanted squares, and it's just something. And then I hang them back on the thing if I don't miss the hole. And when I want one, I could just pull it off. It comes off, and then you wash them and dry them and roll them back on the paper towel holder. The other thing I wanted to show you is this. This is actually a king size pillowcase. I just put it together, had some fabric, and it's got big roses on it. It's just king size. It's actually a little bigger than king size. It fits my body pillow, so it's bigger than king size. But I just put it together. Then what I did was when I flip the top piece over, there's something under here that I'll show you. That's the reason I'm not putting it down yet. I just flipped the top piece over, had a piece of, I'm not sure what this is. It's not lace. It's got little bars on it, like you can see it. And I just sewed it in there when I flipped the top over. And what is under this is, in my other video, it shows the sew along that Katie and Sean are working on with the courthouse stairs. And this is what I finished up on my makeshift board here. I just took my cutting mat, flipped it up, and put a piece of flannel on it, and it sticks to it. This flannel is actually what I use for batting. You can use batting. It just is so less expensive. This is actually I believe it's a 50 by 60 throw fleece. It's just, I could actually use it as a blanket if I choose to. It's just, I can get this for $3 compared to buying batting, batting is relatively expensive, but it works. It's not real thick, and I also make the rag rugs out of it, or rag quilts. It's fairly easy to cut. It doesn't really fray like if you're making a rag quilt out of flannel. It will fray. I didn't want all those strings and everything to mess with it. But in the other video, if you noticed, I did them in 2 different colors. This is done with the paper piecing. Okay? I took the back off, and I'll show you the back of, this is the one with freezer paper. Actually, it's this one that's freezer paper. This one is freezer paper. It keeps its shape, and on the back I just wrote their numbers, but it won't stick to, it'll stick, but you can kind of just pull it off. This black one is the one I did with the freezer paper. The freezer paper one. This is the one I did using on regular paper. The reason I don't really like using regular paper, and again I don't sew to the paper, is sometimes, because you do have to use a little bit of glue if you're not going to sew to the paper, sometimes the glue will stick if you don't remember to keep lifting it up, and it will stick, and then it leaves these little tiny shreds of paper, which when it does that, what the front of the paper, what the back of the paper looks like, it ends up like, oh, shreddy looking, and so you really can't use it again. That's the reason I prefer the freezer paper. And again, I did one in black or white, and then this is the courthouse stairs. Yeah, come on. And that's what it looks like in black and then white. Stick up there. Stay. And those were done. Basically scrappy, just my normal stuff. Then I took and did these with regular sewing. These are not scrappy. This is little leaves in here, and it's a blue. Not my favorite color. I wasn't after color. I just from my 2.5-inch strips that I cut in all my quarter. I just cut a bunch of 2-inch strips out of everything and found the 4 colors. Well, it was actually 3, and then the middle one that looked together. This was done in white, and this one was done in the black. And as you can see, I don't know if I can get them to see, there's a close-up of them. And I'll put them back here so you could see them. And I don't know which I prefer. The only thing I can say about the black is that the stairs does stand out. The yellow is it does stand out a little more, but it's harder to see the yellow, and that's because of the yellows I chose. But I chose those colors because pretty much every color is in this striped, including there's purple, green, and I didn't really want to do one green. I just didn't. I don't really have a favorite color. Someone would ask me that, and I would say, well, I like black, and which anybody knows black isn't really a color. But I just thought I would let you know what I was working on, and that's what my little blocks look like. They end up being 7 inches square, and that's to encompass the fact of you have a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch binding is your seam allowance. So 2/4 inches is equal to half. So when those blocks are sewn to each other, it's going to take up a 1/2 inch. So that leaves you 6.5 inch. The other thing I wanted to mention is, and as soon as I find my ruler, a lot of people are talking about some of these patterns calls for a 7/8 inch. Everybody's going, oh, what's that mean? And I had to sit and think, well, it's right there. A lot of people don't use it because they don't know where it's at. And that's fine. Anybody can change a pattern. But this is just to let you know where the 7/8 inch mark is on any ruler that has the markings. It's on a cutting mat. Here is my ruler, and I will put it up close, and I wrote it in red so you could see it. The 7/8 mark. When something says 1 inch and 7/8 or 7/8, you'll find the 7/8 mark is the mark between, like, this is 1 inch and 3/4. there is a mark between a 3/4 and a full inch. There's a little mark. Like if I can get the camera super close to it without it going blurry, and you can actually see it from the back. Oh, cool. It works from the back. Oh, it's going to go blurry on me. Sorry. No matter which side you look on, and I have to look at my ruler because I'm going off. Like, let me go here. Where's the 3/4? Like, here would be 5 3/4. Right there. Right there. That mark right past the 3/4 mark, before you get to the 6, that would be the 7/8 mark. And I just, like I said, it's the mark between 3/4 and the next inch up. That is your 7/8 mark. Or, you know, most people just don't use 7/8, but that's where it is on a ruler. And it's hard to measure at that 7/8, but you can go down. It's not going to hurt to go down to the 3/4 mark. It's only a fraction off. You just have to remember when you do that, you also have to adjust the other measurements that same amount. So if you go down from 7/8 to 3/4, everything you, and another size says a different size. You just have to make sure, and it might be, it may not even matter. You just measure your block or put all the blocks the same. Even when you cut a block that's smaller and the others, what you do is just cut your blocks to the size of the smallest block, and it doesn't hurt anything. So again, I hope this was helpful to someone, and thank you again for listening. Bye-bye.